Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am Brian Matei, I'm with Castles Real Estate for those who have not seen my prior videos. Today I'm going to talk about or just give you an idea of what to expect when you first get started in real estate. First things first, when you get started in real estate, it is going to be stressful, it is going to be time consuming, there's going to be a lot of situations you're just not aware of or just didn't know was going to happen, or when you're doing the inspection or when you're doing an appraisal, something's going to come up and you're going to be like, oh boy, what do I do now? One, just keeping in constant contact with your broker. If you're not sure about something and you're asked by the client or you're asked by a potential client, don't be like, oh, I don't know. Make it sound professional. Be like, oh, well, let me get back to you on that. Or, oh, let me speak with my broker. Or, oh, I'll look up that for you. Or I'll check up on that for you. If you're not sure, try to make it sound like you're going to figure out the problem right then and there, or you're going to figure out the problem or figure out the situation or whatever you need to do soon. So, you're making sure that you are going to take care of them. Another thing is, when you're looking for potential clients, when you're looking for potential home sellers or buyers, help them. Help them with anything. I mean, obviously you got to keep in boundary with what you're doing, but at the same time, if you are willing to go above and beyond and show that you are going to help people with other situations than just real estate, then they're going to be like, oh, well, this guy really wants to help me out. This guy really cares. Be that caring, kind person. Now, at the same time, you got to kind of stand your ground, and if people are rude or people are disrespectful, you're just like, you don't necessarily need to be rude back, or if you want, you can give attitude, but I wouldn't recommend it because that could just actually create a big argument. It'd just be like, oh, have a nice day, or be like, oh, I guess this is not the best time for you, have a nice day, and just move on and just leave and just go. Don't waste your time arguing with people, disagreeing with people that are just not your cup of tea, or just don't want to be bothered, or just are frustrated with you. That's going to happen. You're going to have people that are rude. You're going to have people that are disrespectful. You're going to have people that are just flat out not your cup of tea, and you're going to have to learn how to deal with it if you don't already know. And I've worked in this hospitality industry, so I kind of already know how to deal with certain situations like that. But, when I got into real estate, there are certain situations where people are just, downright rude, and I'm like, what do I do? But, I've just learned, I'm like, oh, guess it's not a good day for you. Have a good one, and just walk away and let it roll off your shoulder. Don't take it personally. Actually, I was door knocking today, and first things first, unfortunately it started raining, and it rained for an hour or two, so I wasn't able to hit as many doors as I normally would. And then also I ran into a couple people that were realtors themselves, and they kind of felt like they were being encroached on. And I wasn't trying to necessarily take away their business, but at the same time, I'm trying to grow as a realtor too, and one way of doing that is going out door knocking and meeting people. So when people are not too inviting or not too friendly, just be like, okay, well, have a good one, or it was a pleasure speaking with you, even if it wasn't a pleasure, and just go and leave. And you never know, you might talk to them later and realize they were just having a bad day, or they were like, oh, I was a little threatened by the fact that you came knocking on my door when I'm a real estate agent myself. I kind of feel like you're taking my business. They may not say it that way, but just kind of present themselves that way, or might kind of give you a key or indicator on that later. And like I say, when people are rude, when people are disrespectful, you don't know what's going on in their life. They might be having a bad day, and they're just like, oh, this guy is really going to get it. And, I've had a couple situations where people slammed the door on me. I had a guy where he was really mad that I walked up on his house. He actually thought that something suspicious was going on. And he was just like, well, why are you walking on my driveway when you could have walked to my front door? And I was like, well, I actually did go to your front door and you didn't answer. And he was just like, oh, well, I'll apologize. And then, he was like, who are you? And I was like, oh, I'm Brian Matei. I do creative marketing in the real estate business. I didn't just say, oh, I'm a realtor. And it was like, oh, what's this about? And then, I kind of made some conversation with them. And then he was kind of telling me, oh, I've been getting hit up left and right by realtors, and all they want to do is call me and text me and bother me. And I was just like, well, this is why I like to go face to face, door to door, and show myself, so I'm not just somebody over the phone that might be trying to scam you. I mean, there's a lot of scams out there, so people do get that call a lot. And I'm not just your typical realtor. I'm I am a guy that is very interested in your business. I will do whatever I can to make sure that you have a fulfilling experience and to be able to have a smooth transition if you're buying or you're selling. And that's another thing. When you're introducing yourself, don't just say, "Hey, I'm Brian Matei, I'm a realtor." Now, I just kind of said that automatic response, not even thinking about it. But kind of think of a way to make yourself stand out. Be like, "Oh, I'm Brian Matei, and I do creative work in the real estate business." Now, I did not come up with this idea. This actually was a great idea from this guy by the name of Mike Sherrard. He is an absolute fabulous guy to listen to, and I will tell you again, you'll probably hear his name quite a few times. That also, and Brian Casella is a great person to listen to. These guys, they've been doing it for a long time, so they know how to work the business. But anyways, make yourself stand out. Don't just be that typical realtor that just, says, "Hey, how you doing? I'm a realtor," and that's it. I know sometimes I present myself that way in the beginning of my video, but when I'm going out and actually introducing myself to other people, I kind of think of a creative way to say things. That way, it's kind of grabbing their attention, and I'm not just sounding like, "Hey, you're trying to buy or sell your home," because I just sound salesy. It sounds pushy. It's kind of annoying because it's like, you're just like, "Oh, well, yeah. I help people buy. I help people sell." It's just like, well, whatever. That's what every realtor does. We know what a realtor does. Like, we know how it works. So make that, be a way to stand yourself out, or figure out a way to stand yourself out, or present yourself in a way that's not typical to the average person, or just not making yourself look like the average person, and help them. Help them with anything that they need help with, and it shows that, like, you really care. And like I say, you're going to have people that are not so friendly, and you're going to run into situations that you're just not sure about. And so, like I say, you got to be prepared for it, else you're going to get super stressed out. And the thing is, you're going to get stressed out from time to time, but you got to learn how to manage it, learn how to deal with it, and just understand that, in the beginning, there's going to be a lot to learn. There's going to be you're going to make mistakes. Now, of course, make sure you minimize your mistakes, especially when you're doing a transaction, because that can be very costly to you. But you're going to make mistakes. You're going to say things you didn't necessarily mean to say, or you present yourself in a way that you didn't mean to present yourself in that fashion. But it happens. We all make mistakes. But just be prepared for a lot of things thrown at you that you're just not sure about. And you're just going to have to deal with it accordingly, no matter what it is. And, that's why you have a broker. So if you're not sure about certain things, call your broker and be like, "Hey, how do I deal with the situation? What do I do?" And this is why I'm making a video, to kind of give an idea of like what to do, or just what to expect. Not necessarily what to do, but what to expect in the real estate business. Because some people think it's going to fall into their lap, and that's the worst idea you can think of. And please don't tell people that, because you might get lucky with a few people. You might get lucky with a few customers you have. You might just be able to meet them at the same time they're buying or selling. But for the most part, you are going to have to put work, you're going to have to put time, it's going to be stressful, it's going to be frustrating, you're going to be annoyed, but just keep in mind that people are going to find you annoying too when you're presenting yourself as a realtor. So think of ways to stand out, think of ways to present yourself in not the typical fashion. And more than anything, have a big smile on your face, because if you have a big smile on your face, it shows that you like your job, you enjoy it, you care, and it's more inviting to you as a person to other people when you have this big smile on your face, versus if you look stressed out, or you look confused, or you look upset. Because if you present yourself that way, then it just kind of looks like, "Oh, well, he doesn't really enjoy this," or "Oh, he doesn't want to be bothered with this," or "Oh, maybe I shouldn't ask him these questions because he's not going to be too happy with me asking him in the first place." You want somebody that's going to be inviting, understanding, caring, acceptable to anything that's going on. Now, there's certain things you got to set boundaries on, obviously, but at the same time, be that person that's going to help them. And be like a life coach. And I mean, you don't have to be perfect with it, obviously, but be that person that is just out there to give advice, that is out there to help, even if you're not sure about the situation. Be like, "Oh, let me get back to you. Oh, let me check up on that for you," and contact who you need to contact, whoever you need to contact. But at the same time, be that person that's going to help out. Be that person that stands out. Be that person who is not your typical realtor, because If you are, they're just going to put you in the same bag or the same list of realtors they've already had to deal with. And there are a lot of people that just want to be realtors. They just want the part, but they don't want to play it. So just keep that in mind, and you'll do well. It's just going to take time. And this is the thing. It's going to take time to learn things. It's going to take time to make business. It's going to take time to kind of understand what's going on and what to do with the knowledge, or what to do with the resources you have. But that's another thing, is use those resources you have. You have a lot of different things with the MLS. Hopefully you do have MLS, an MLS subscription, but you have a lot of different tools you can use. Even if you're not sure how to use it, just play with it and try to see, like, oh, what can I do with this? What can I do with that? There's a lot of things I don't even know yet that I'm still very much learning, but I've just kind of like messed around with it and like, oh, okay, this is how this works, and oh, this is how this works, or oh, I could do this or use this to help me with whatever situation that might be going on. So just keep that in mind, and just keep an open mind that anything can be thrown your way, and you're just going to have to know what to do. And if you're not sure, ask somebody that's experienced, and you're going to be forever learning. You're going to be challenged. You're going to be pushed. You're going to be, placed in situations you're just not sure about. And you got to step out of your comfort zone and just kind of do what is expected of you. Do what your client wants you to help them with, and it will help you tremendously. So I don't want to make this video too long, and thanks for everyone for listening. And again, I'm Brian Matei. I'm with Castles Real Estate, and please feel free to comment, suggest. If you have any questions, put those in the comments, and I will be more than willing to get back to you. Or if you just have advice on how to vamp up or how to help my videos, I'm more than willing to listen. You can shoot me a message, you can shoot me a text, whatever you got to do. Have a great day, guys.